Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. You get no points for guessing where I am. It is that time of the year again. It is, well, almost that time of the year again. It is the week before the Monaco Grand Prix. If I say Monaco Yacht Show in this video, you'll have to excuse me. I'm so used to saying it when I'm here, but it is not the Monaco Yacht Show. It's the Monaco Grand Prix, upcoming Monaco Grand Prix. It's the Saturday before the Grand Prix weekend. So the free practice will start on Thursday and we're here on Saturday. Now, why are we here? We're here to look at the crazy way that Monaco changes, you know, for the Grand Prix, with all of the stuff that gets put in. That all of this stuff that looks permanent is actually built just for the Grand Prix, like this bridge here. This is obviously the famous La Rascasse, and the corner in the Grand Prix circuit is named after this famous bar here. So that's where we're standing, right? This is the place, this is the famous place where Michael Schumacher, during qualifying, parked his car. He faked a breakdown and parked his car just around the corner here, just so nobody else could get a better time than him, so he would clinch pole position. So you can see in the background up there all the pit lanes. We're going to go up there in a minute. Obviously, it's a super yacht channel, so we're here to go down to the marina and see what super yachts we can see. But I'm going to show you some of the stuff that's getting set up for the Grand Prix at the same time. So let's go and do that. So it's a bit noisy here, guys. This is, I mean, as you can see, the garage for Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, the Mercedes team, and Hamilton's arch nemesis, Max Verstappen, is just over here. And then you've got, on this side, you've got Ferrari, Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. But you can see all the equipment here, that is all still to go in. And there's trucks. I mean, the whole thing is lined with these massive trucks, which they bring in to each race. They have multiple sets of this equipment. I think they have 3 sets. They have 2 sets in Europe and another set that goes overseas, you know, on ships or aircraft or however they get it there. But they have this so they can set up. They're racing in Italy right now. This weekend, and the Monaco Grand Prix will be next weekend, and they've already got this gear here, obviously. So if you think about it, they're already racing in Italy, so they've got another set of equipment there, and then they've got all this gear, this infrastructure. Next Sunday, when the race is about to start, this is where the cars will be lined up. There's a starting line. Probably Max Verstappen will be parked here, and then so on and so forth, all the way down. And this is one of the main streets of Monaco. As you can see, a lot of traffic on it right now. But next Sunday, there will be a Formula One race here, which boggles the mind, really, when you think about it. It's quite crazy that this narrow street, they'll be coming through here at 150 miles an hour. All right, so you can see the stands down there. That's Rascasse if you're an F1 fan. And then we've got swimming pool here. And then behind me here, we've got the marina. We're gonna go down, we're gonna go and look at a very special boat down here. In actual fact, it's unusual to see a boat this large in this part of the marina, but I think it's there for a reason, because Formula One weekend is so busy. And here we go, this is the boat I was talking about, motor yacht Faith. Now, Faith is a 96 meter, which is 315 feet yacht, built by Fedship. And it was formerly owned by Lawrence Stroll. If you're a Formula One fan watching the channel, because I'm in Monaco for the Grand Prix, then you'll know who Lawrence Stroll is. He is he's the head guy at Aston Martin now. He is involved in the Formula One racing team, and his son Lance Stroll is racing for Aston Martin in the F1. No nepotism, of course. He's purely there on talent. But this was his boat until a couple of years ago. Now, I've filmed this boat many times. I filmed it in Barcelona. I had some great drone shots from Barcelona, which I'll put in. Unfortunately, in Monaco now, I can't fly the drone, so I'll put in those to substitute, and you can see it all fully decked out with the stern door open and all that beach club. There's a massive beach club inside of here, obviously closed right now. but it's an incredible yacht, beautiful looking yacht, great lines. It's about 2,900 gross tons, which is no accident. Anything over 3,000 gross tons, and it's a very different situation with the way it's built and the way it's crewed. You have to have commercial tickets, and the vessel has to be built to a high standard. It's still built to a high standard. I mean, when I say standard, I mean safety standards, like the difference between buying a house or building a house and building a hotel. So they keep under 3,000, and then they can do it a little bit less expensive, let's say. Now you can see here the deckhand's cleaning, but you see that piece that's sticking out there? That is the doors to the helicopter hangar. They've opened it out for cleaning. I don't know why they've got it open, to be honest. Yeah, it still can't, unfortunately won't be able to tell it if there's a helicopter in there. But that's how they open it out there, and then they have an elevator that comes up with the helicopter on, and then it flies away. Now what else can we see? We can see the crew busy on board, which tells us that there's no guests on board right now. They're prepping for a guest trip or a guest period. So they're prepping, cleaning down. You can see the deckhands up there with the hose pipes out and all that kind of stuff, getting the boat ready, cleaning it. They've got music playing out on deck as well, which is something they would never do if the owners were on board. So we know that there's no owner on board or guests on board, and they're building up to it. Hi fellas. The cost of this boat to build, approximately $200 million. So this is possibly the most expensive yacht in Monaco Marina today. Now, will that be the same next weekend? Most likely not. I'll give you an example. Last year, motor yacht Octopus was here, 10,000 gross ton, 126 meter behemoth. That vessel was at one point for sale for $300 million. It eventually sold for about $230 million. It's 20 odd years old, absolutely stunning vessel, but that might or might not be here next week, I'm not sure. One thing I've just noticed is it says TT Dane, which is the yacht that's moored just here. So obviously it's the owner of the boat owns the car, but he's put TT on a tender too. That's what you normally put on your tenders. So the boat that's on the stern of that boat of the yacht there, that would be a tender, right? Tender 2, whatever. But he's put it on his Ferrari, which is hilarious. The old guy here, I think he might be the original owner. The car's from 1931. That's a joke, obviously. He's old, but he's not that old. But this car is registered on the French classic car register, and to be able to do that, they have to be able to trace the car's history right back to the manufacturer. And in the same way that we do that with cars, we can do that with people, with our own families. And that's why I'm excited that MyHeritage are sponsoring this video, because that's the very website that we use to look up our genealogy. MyHeritage is the #1 family history service because of how easy they make it to discover your history and origins with over 19 billion records. Now, you don't have to be an expert, you don't even have to know anything about genealogy, just like me. Just let MyHeritage do the work for you. I'll give you an example. When we added our family tree, which we did from sort of internet days to MyHeritage, the instant discovery feature here added immediately over a dozen people to our family tree, one of whom goes back to the year 1455. Now, some other examples, we found all kinds of amazing, unexpected things. We found a relative named Elizabeth Blount, who was a mistress to Henry VIII. Henry VIII was the King of England in 1509, and we found her on the site complete with her own coat of arms. But they also have this incredible photo enhancement tool. There's a photo of my grandfather using the repair feature here, and then we use the enhance tool, and then there's a coloring tool, and finally even an animation tool. Now, if you want to sign up for a 14-day free trial and discover all the amazing features MyHeritage has to offer, use the link below or in the description. Zeus and Wedge 2 here. These are almost always here. You can almost guarantee that this boat will be here, Wedge 2. This is a 65 meter or 213 feet yacht, and it was built by Fedship. This boat was designed by Philip Stark. Now, if you don't know who Philip Stark is, you might know some of his creations. He designed Motor Yacht A, the one that looks like a submarine, the one that gets the most comments on the channel saying it's ugly. He also designed Sailing Yacht A, which is another vessel that I think is in second place in terms of people saying they hate how a vessel looks. All right, this boat here, you probably won't recognize. I've not featured it on the channel before. Obviously it's called Fly Me to the Moon, named after a Frank Sinatra song, I would say. Built in 2012 by Million Yachts. Now the owner of this vessel is what's interesting. You might not recognize his name, and I cannot pronounce it, so I'm going to put it on the screen and a picture of him. You're based in the UK, you probably know EasyJet and the airline. It's a budget airline. It's like, if you live in the US, like Southwestern type thing, but I think they've got a bad reputation. Now the guy who owns this boat is the guy who created that company. Now there was a period where he was doing a lot of things, Easy Cruises, Easy Cinemas, stuff like that, but I think he's divested from those companies now. I don't think he's involved in them anymore, but now he owns this yacht here. Now you do often see him sitting on the stern here having his breakfast. Now if we go from this one to this one, this is Motor Yacht Alchemist. This is a 62 meter, which is about 200 feet, just over 200 feet. And it was built by San Lorenzo. As you can kind of tell, it's got that style to it. And it was built in 2021. Now this can carry 17 guests, which is interesting because anything over 12 guests and it goes into a different category. So this will be under the passenger yacht code, which means that it is, when they build it, it needs to have, it's built to a higher standard, like I was talking about before with Faith. The boat will have to have higher standards in terms of safety equipment, stuff like that, and also the way it's built and the equipment used and stuff to build it. Now this boat definitely has got the guest on, or the imminent arrival of the guest, or they've gone ashore or something like that, but the boat is completely silent, but you can hear in the background, you can hear you know, lightly playing music, you know, to set that ambience. You can see they've got plants up on the deck there, the flag's out, the pool is filled, everything is fully laid out, knowing that you know, you've got guests on board, or you've got, you know, it's imminent arrival of guests. The same with this boat here, we're going to go to in a minute, Liionheart. You can see the crew out, they've got their fancy uniform on, the polo shirts, whereas normally they'd be wearing like t-shirts, but they're wearing the polo shirts. They've got the plants out on deck. It's very quiet. There's a few crew standing there, but they're very quiet and subdued, which tells you that they don't want to make any noise because there are people on board who they might disturb. Now, in terms of stats on this boat, Liionheart is a 90 meter, which is just under 300 foot in length, and it's a 2,990 gross tons. Like I said, under 3,000 gross tons, and it's very different in terms of build and in terms of who can crew the yacht, you know, their qualifications and stuff like that. It was built in 2012, and its value is approximately $150 million. So I'm stood on what will be the racetrack, or what is the racetrack when the race is on. It's currently a public road, and then you can just slide straight through into this section here where all the super yachts are. So now in the marina. So racetrack, marina, and you've got some of the boats here. Now for the racing, what they'll do is they'll move all the boats forward because they can't stay here in case there's a crash on the racetrack itself, because it's so close, right? So what they'll do is all the boats will go out, I don't know how far, like 10 meters, 20 meters, something like that, and then they'll drop lines there to secure them in place. There have been crashes in the past, a long time ago, 1950s, I think the last time, where a car didn't have such high fences as well. The car crashed and flew over and landed into the water and exploded into a ball of flames. So if there were yachts here and that happened this time, they'd be going much faster as well. You know, you can imagine what might happen, so they do that for safety reasons. Really quite surprised today, actually. It's actually quite empty, the Monaco Marina. It's very unusual. I know what you're thinking. There's two massive yachts behind you, what you're talking about. And there are other massive yachts over here as well, but This whole section here is completely empty, and all of this will be full of yachts next weekend. All right, the boat behind me here is motor yacht Utopia. It's a 71 meter or 235 foot super yacht built by Fedship in 2004. Capacity of 12 guests in 6 cabins, which is pretty standard for a yacht of this size, and top speed of 16 knots, and it has a gross tonnage of about 1,500. Now, value of this boat is about $100 million, which means it costs about 5 to 10 million a year to maintain, which is, you know, incredible, isn't it? All that money, and it's not even one of the bigger yachts in the marina today. 100 million. Now this is another Fedship. Fedship very well represented today in Monaco. It's a 66 meter, which is about 215 feet, and has again 12 guests in 6 cabins and a crew of about 20. The boat was built in 2016, has a top speed of 18.5 knots. This yacht behind me here, this is a Bonetti, built in 2020, motor yacht ALFA, about 1,400 gross tons. It's a 70 meter, which is about what, 215 feet in length, and it's you can tell very quickly it's a Bonetti. The shape of the bow is very typically Bonetti, and some of the other styling features as well. Price for motor yacht ALFA is about $90 million. So yeah, this is one of the less expensive yachts today in Monaco Marina. Now, right next to motor yacht ALFA is motor yacht Kasper 7. This is another Bonetti yacht, and this is brand new. Well, yeah, I would say brand new, delivered in 2023, and it's 1,250 gross tons, 67 meter, which is about 220 feet, can carry 12 guests, and it has a crew of 20. Build cost of approximately $75 to $80 million. The only place I know where people stand on the corner of a road just to watch cars go by. So we're at the Fairmont Hotel. This is the Fairmont corner. It's the slowest corner in Formula One, just over the other side there. We're in the parking lot of the hotel. They're always a good spot if you want to see some nice cars. Come to the Fairmont. If you can't find them anywhere else. Well, Fairmont Hotel, you'll always see some nice motors here. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you there. It's been an interesting day walking around the streets of Monaco as they prepare for the 2024 Monaco Grand Prix. If you've got any questions, if there's anything that I didn't talk about that you want to see, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try and facilitate that in the next video. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed it. The most expensive yacht that was here today, $200 million. If we add up the price of the 4 most expensive yachts, that's over $500 million. So it's quite something, isn't it? All right, guys, next weekend will probably be 3 times that. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye. This is a new trend that's happening when I'm in Monaco. A boat comes in and I'm on the wrong side of the marina. It happened to me last year so many times. I can't believe it. I've missed Montjac and now this one's coming in. So yeah, I missed that. By the time I get round, it'll take me like 20 minutes to get round there, so it'll be too late. Thank you to MyHeritage for sponsoring this video. Check out MyHeritage in the link in the description.